So today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different that I haven't actually done in quite a while. It's been a while. I'm taking this boneless pork loin from my friends at Porter Road, and I'm going to turn it into something a little bit different. We're actually going to be stuffing this bad boy in. I'm going to be stuffing it with some unique ingredients. So let's get into it. I'll show you how this turns out. I'll even show you the process for how I do this.
You ready? Let's go!
Alright, so unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, this roast already came wrapped. The problem with that is I don't want to have it wrapped yet because I'm going to be basically stuffing this. And in order to stuff this, we have to slice into it. So let's do that. Let's get this unwrapped. And then of course, I'll show you what I do to basically unravel, if you will, this beautiful pork loin into making it something just a little bit better. With our pork loin, obviously, this is always the show part of it. You gotta have that, right? So what I'm gonna do is essentially I'm taking a knife, and usually I like to have a knife that's longer than my pork loin, but you can do it however you want. And then essentially what I'm going to do is kind of fold this out like a book. So as you can see, I'm gonna be cutting this way. Trying to go about, well, trying, not being successful, about half an inch. And I'm gonna continue down, but I'm not gonna go all the way through, just most of the way through. And that kind of starts the book process. Then I'm going back the other direction, as you can see, still about half an inch. And we're just gonna slice it back going the other way. And then that's gonna allow us to kind of open it up like a full book, as you can see. So I'm gonna take my cornbread crumbs, throw those in there. I'm also going to throw in at least a cup and a half, maybe a cup or more of this chicken broth. And next, I'm going to actually throw in, this is going to be probably weird for you, but essential, a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of this Kentucky kick, some brown sugar, and then of course last but not least, critical component, I'm actually going to throw in some apple pie filling. That's right, we're going to make this a dessert today. Mix all that together. Might have to put some more breadcrumbs in there just to kind of thicken it up a little bit, and that's okay, it's not a big deal. And of course, once we get this thickened up a little bit, I'm gonna have to go ahead, take it, spread it around a little bit on this, and then we'll get it tied up, and it should be good to go. This Hickory smoked pork seasoning from my friends at Vitae. You can use whatever pork seasoning you want on the inside of here. This is gonna help, obviously, give this pork a little seasoning on the inside. And then I'm gonna use a little bit of the sweet heat barbecue from Vitae as well. It's really good stuff. Obviously it goes great on pork, poultry, as well as fish. And yeah, we'll just get this on here, get this covered up really nicely, and then we'll get the stuffing on here, and then we'll wrap this bad boy up. Alright, now, moment of truth, just going to spread this in there. You want to keep about half an inch on each side as best you can, because this is, once you start to tie this up, and obviously it's going to want to squeeze out. So the more I can get this in here and just spread across evenly, the easier it'll be for the whole process. And like I said, if you've never tried stuffing a pork loin, I definitely encourage you to do so. It's definitely something fun to do. It definitely makes something a little bit unique with a pork loin, and kind of add some different flavors, obviously. I've actually never done this with apple pie stuffing, so this will be a new one for me, but I figure we know wait. Why not, right? Can't hurt. That's the way I look at it. Alright, so almost there, a little bit more. Then we'll roll this up, and then of course also get what we need in here tied up, and then we'll have kind of a nice little pork loin ready to go. So let's get to the tying process, show you how that works. And yeah, this should be a good one. Alright, so then I'm just going to roll this over. As you see, yeah, some of the insides will want to come out, and that's okay. It's not the end of the world. The main thing is you try to get as much of that stuffing to stay in there as you can, and that's the real key to this. Now I'm going to take this, now that I've got this kind of around here, I'm going to wrap at least the first end, and then we'll tie up the other stuff in one single, so we have it all together. But I'm just going to tie this one off right here. This is how I start mine usually, and then from there I'll tie the rest to this one so it's all together. Alright, now that I've got that tied up, I'm going to use this little technique that I seen Chris use the other day, and using basically a little corn cob thing, poke some holes into this fat, if you will, and see if I can get a little bit more crispiness out of the skin once I put a little seasoning or salt on here. So here we go, barbecue sea salt. Try that on there. I'm gonna let this sit in the refrigerator to help seep out some of that moisture on the fat side, and then we'll get this on the smoker. Should be a fun cook. We'll see how it goes. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead. This has been sitting with the salt frying on it, or just the salt on it I should say. Get this on the blaze, indirect, a little bit of smoke. Hopefully that skin perks up really nicely. We'll see. Definitely look forward to see how it turns out. So stay tuned, more to come. Also got some plum wood as well as my Prime 6 charcoal back there. Just wanted to make note of that. I have really liked so far using the plum wood. It definitely adds a little bit of a new, unique fruit flavor, and I think it's going to work out well with this pork loin. Alright, so for this pork loin, I'm actually going to be taking some of this leftover canned pineapple pies. I'm going to be making a glaze out of it, believe it or not. Just something I thought would be fun to do, something to try. I'm going to throw a little bit of this hot Fireball whiskey in there. Obviously got a little cinnamon in it. It'll help break this down a little bit too. So I'm going to throw in a little bit of brown sugar. Obviously you gotta have a little brown sugar with any good barbecue or glaze sauce, right? Next I'm going to throw in a little bit of this honey. And throw in just a dash, not a lot. Just a little bit of this cinnamon. And then of course my favorite, second kick. Blend that up. As you can see, the glaze has a pretty nice consistency there, so I think that's going to work out great, at least as far as I'm concerned, on this pork loin. So just wanted to share that with you. Definitely look forward to seeing how this turns out, but wow, you can smell the flavor. It smells ridiculous. Oh yeah, check it out. So far so good. Skin looks good. Pork loin's coming along nicely. Still got a little ways to go, but definitely liking the way this looks, and definitely excited to see how this turns out. So should be a good one. Definitely excited about it. That plum wood, that Prime 6 charcoal rolling hot back there in the back, and of course on the Blaze Kamado grill. So oh yeah, it's coming along nicely. We're right there at the 152 to 155 mark. So I'm gonna go ahead and baste this up. I got that special glaze I'm gonna throw in here, and we'll see what it looks like. Got some of that glaze that we made earlier, using the Fireball whiskey with the apple pie filling. So we're just going to baste this all over here. Let it render for a little bit longer. We still got a little ways to go. And see how it turns out. I think it's going to be good though. That's my opinion of it anyway. We'll see. I haven't done one of these in a little while, and I thought this would be fun to do. Kind of almost like a dessert too, you know, that glaze and that stuffing, that apple stuffing. So this one I hope turns out as good as it looks so far. Definitely let me know what you think in the comments below, and of course, you know, hit that subscribe button. Alright, let's check and see where we're at. Looks like we are very close. Some areas were a little high, some areas were a little low. I think it's good enough to pull off. What do you think? So the moment of truth, let's try this pork loin, stuffed pork loin with apple pie stuffing. See what it tastes like. Well, I will say this: if you like pork loin, you like a little bit of sweet heat, this is definitely a good recipe to try. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Obviously, let me know down in the comments below what you think, and of course, don't forget about those notifications. Until such time, good cooking, and this was a great dip.